Calgary real estate market update for April 2025. April was an exciting month for the housing market. Let's look at what that means for buyers, sellers, and investors. Sales dropped by 22% compared to the last April. Only 2,236 homes were sold this month. This slowdown continues from the last month, but the inventory is still very high. It went up by a massive 177%. The total residential inventory was at 5,867. New listings improved by 16%. Increased inventory means buyers have more options and more power to negotiate. The benchmark price for a home in Calgary was $5,901,000 in April. That is 1% lower than this time last year. The market is cooling that we saw last month, and it continues in the month of April. Detached homes are sold at an average price of $769,000. That's a 2.4% year-over-year increase. Unfortunately, sales in these segments are still dropping. It dropped by 16% since last April. The apartment market is relatively stable at this moment. The prices are at $336,000, 0% change from this time last year. But the inventory increased by 50% from the start of this year to April 2025. A massive increase compared to the same period last year. Row townhouses are now priced at $457,000. That's 1% increase from the last year. Again, relatively stable when compared to the last year. This is a market that doesn't have many unpleasant surprises for us. That's for the whole of Calgary. But what about the different districts? The city center saw around 2.3% growth, with the home prices touching $594,000. West Calgary, on the other hand, barely budged, with prices going up 0.3%, that is $717,000. Meanwhile, East Side is still quiet and affordable, with the average home prices at $429,000. It barely grown 0.2% compared to the last year same time. A good option for the people who are looking to buy homes in these areas as well. There are some interesting movements in the surrounding areas too. Erie is sitting at a benchmark price of $544,000. That's not a big change from the previous year's numbers. However, the detached home prices have gone up to $654,000, which is at 1.8% increase. Okotoks, which is at $627,000, is down from the record price last month, but it is still up by 1.8% increase. Compared to the last year, supply is at 2.27 months, with an average 104% increase from the last year. Still a seller's market, but buyers are getting an edge over that market as well. Cochrane benchmark average is at $592,000, which is less than the last month's $686,000, but still 5.4% growth over the last year. Supply is at 2.62 months, again leaning towards the buyer market. So what does all this mean? In one word, it means stability. That's what I am seeing in the Calgary's market. Prices aren't moving crazily. Inventory is entering the market. Buyers are getting more options. However, prices haven't dropped much either, which means seller won't lose much when they sell. Very normal and stable condition in the Calgary's market at this time. I am Wilton, and I am here to guide you through the Calgary's evolving market. Thank you.